So for anybody that doesn't know me, I'm a parent carer of a little girl with quite complex needs. And Melton and I wanted to come and join you and just, well, to have some fun, but also with a bit of seriousness with it as well. Just talking about some of the things perhaps other people don't talk about, perhaps a little bit of myth busting, but also we really want to do it. Hi, we really want to do it and have some fun with you guys as well. So I don't know if you wanted to just introduce yourself, Melton.
Hello, I'm Meltem. So now I'm so happy to do that with Mandy because I think you'll enjoy because I'm autistic and I'm Turkish. So I can't sometimes understand social rules and I'll be so direct. Maybe sometimes people, I irritate people. So what I did in Turkey, why I'm here, because I'm exiled. Because my sharp tongue, I think. But now, what we'll do, we just talk about everything. Sometimes you just laugh, sometimes maybe you irritated, sometimes you be happy. So we'll see. But today, first, I want to ask Mandy, can you a little bit summarize what about Polly situation, and then we just move forward.
There is a lot to Polly, and hopefully throughout the podcasts and my channel as well, I'll elaborate on that a bit more. So if anyone does want to check out a bit what we're about, I've got some tube feeding things on there and a lot of other things we want to cover and just do it. We want to give you a gold nugget each week, a gold nugget and a topic that we really want to focus on. So to summarise Polly. Polly is happy, cheeky, and communicates in her own way. She's non-verb. I suppose the most challenging things I find with Polly is not having the verbal communication. She's got not much mobility. She uses a pushchair wheelchair, although she can crawl. And I think the most debilitating part of her life is tube feeding. And I know for most people, that's a really to get your head around that. I mean, my assumptions before I didn't know much about tube feeding really before I had Polly. An assumption that I made to myself because it's not readily available and the information just isn't there. And you don't often see it was, naively, I thought that if you've got a tube in your nose, it must mean you're really ill and you're going to die. That was my presumption, and I think from what I hear, I feel that that's what a lot of people do as well. But she's got cerebral palsy, but I gotta say she's given me the life I've got now. It is hard, it's tough. I could go on about how tough it is, and we'll get the violins out. I'm not really about that. I just want to live my best life with my little girl, really.
Yeah, and I'm just really proud of you, what you are doing and how you just take care of her. But Mandy and I have joined some meeting in next week, and Mandy explained all the story about Polly, and then she said something and it hits me so strong. So why we are doing this today, because she said people just ask him how long she will live. I just couldn't really understand, because a lot of people think autistic people be rude, and we don't know. Sometimes we just ask question is the question could be really inconvenient. But what I just hear, I couldn't believe. And I just first want to ask you, in Britain, when you just meet people, and then are you asking, oh, hello, how much, what is your children? And they say, okay, I have one girl, one boy. And are you asking, how long they will live? Is it a normal question?
Yeah, I think this is what one of the topics I think that definitely you felt, didn't you, Melton, when I was talking about this was, you really felt it. And you definitely tell people that you perceive things a lot different being autistic. So you really find this really difficult to understand how. So I have lots of times when sort of people come and ask me, especially in the early days when she was little and she had the tube in her nose, what's her prognosis? How long has she got to live? I mean, I personally would.
I just really get so angry because, what they want to say, I couldn't understand. Can you just maybe help me? What does it mean? So we can't ask this question if we see normal child. So why, if someone different from us or maybe disabled, how can people dare to ask this question?
Yeah, I think this really hit. This really, I could see this really hit your heart, didn't it, Melton? When
Yeah,
I
I just
mentioned
get
this.
so
How?
angry. And why
Yeah.
just, can you please tell your emotion? Because people need to hear when they ask this question, how the other people, how the mother or father, even your mom said, people just ask the same question, your mom. But can you please tell people how it's hurt you or what you feel? Please just be honestly tell, and people should know this, Mandy.
Yeah, it's really hard because you don't know the journey, and the doctors um, only like to really tell you the facts. And because a lot was uncertain with Polly, a lot wasn't known. I mean, I suppose I've learned to get a bit of hard skin, and I know people don't mean it, but it hurts. It's hard to hear, and it's very confronting because we're often just getting through the day with Polly because it's really challenging. So I don't really think it's ever a question I personally would ask anybody. And I hear it a lot from other people with tube-fed children. I just don't. I wouldn't ask it somebody anyway. I don't know where anyone thinks it's okay to ask that question. I love it when people are curious, but I don't think it's hard. It's upsetting because some of it we're still trying to come to terms with ourselves. We don't know what Polly's diagnosis is. We don't know. We're trying to understand it ourselves. There's a lot of bio we don't know, but yeah, it sometimes makes you want to hide. To be honest, it really does.
Yeah, and just really, even now, I'm just get so angry, and I know you don't want to be offended any people, but I did in my country. So sometimes we just say things, and even it hurts the other people. They should know how we feel and what is going on. Otherwise, people never change their attitude. And what I observe, I don't know, are you agree or not, but and I'm asking you actually, why people can be very rude when they talk about disability people? Why they just feel everything is right? They can ask or just tell if the other people disabled. So why? I really don't get it. What you
Yeah,
think?
I'm probably the same as you. Really, I don't know why, because you're invading somebody's personal space when you're asking that. I don't think anyone should ask it anyway, but a lot of the time it's people that don't know me, don't know the situation. And I'm quite empathetical. I do think perhaps they've got somebody that they know that's got that, but don't want to ask them. You know, people are curious, but I don't understand myself, and I still struggle with why someone would ask me that. I mean, it's like I said, a lot of it when it's said, you're very often talking to someone who's just trying to get through the day.
Yeah, and it's really I don't understand. I not same, but when my husband diagnosed terminal cancer, and I can understand when people ask this question because it's obvious. Doctor say it's terminal, and it is just in this situation, doctors always know what is going on. So I can understand this, okay, but I didn't understand how people ask these questions. A mother who just tried to handle this situation, and we talk about a child, and even we don't know what will happen tomorrow.
Yeah, I mean, nobody's told us she's terminal.
Yeah,
Nobody's, like you said with cancer, sometimes, with cancer it is terminal, and a lot with her is the unknown really. So and she's so complicated, and there's so much to her, and it's just figuring out one bit at a time, and really when when people ask them questions in times, it's these are days where you've had hospital appointments, you've been up in the night, you've been feeding her through the night. Yes, she's been sleeping, which another perception about her is, oh, well, she sleeps all the time. That's great. You can get on. However, if someone is quite ill and they're sleeping all the time, they need a lot of support. We used to sleep because I was really quite worried about her from day dot, really. And we used to have one of them mats. They didn't recommend having the mat, but it was the only way you could get sleep because she just looked so poorly. I just thought that we were going to lose her in the night because she just didn't look well. But we reached out for support and sort of kept getting sent home. So a lot of it's been learned experience. But I had to have this mat or we couldn't sleep because we were worried about her stopping breathing. So you're up all night. Your hospital visits, your appointments, your the feeding regime was like we were feeding her every 4 hours. And at one point, I don't know if there's any breastfed mums out there, like breastfeeding. So I was trying to breastfeed her, and then you'd express, and then like that would take me 2 or 3 hours to do, and then the cycle would start again. So when you do go out and you meet people and you have these questions, on top of everything else, I kind of do think it comes back to finding your tribe and being safe around the people that you are. But I do see great value in educating people with what life is like, really.
Yeah, I'm just so glad you are doing this. And when I lived, I just really, I have been there. I judge people easily, and because I think I know things better than the others. But life just really slapped me very hard. And then now, what I learned, we just need to listen to other people without our perception, without our judgment, and maybe without what we are thinking. Because if we not listen to other people, we never understand. And sometimes when we are listen, we have to think about the other people have emotion, the other people
And the
have
person
feeling.
that you're asking,
Yeah,
when's your daughter going to die, really?
Yeah,
This is what they're asking.
This question, especially if the other people disabled or the carrier, we just definitely be careful and choose our word very carefully, because otherwise we just hurt the other people a lot, guys. So why I just want to talk about Polly, and I'm sure she will very happy with you, and you are doing perfect job. And I think the other people learn more about career life.
Yeah, I think it's really important that that like Polly's voice is heard, but definitely Kara's voices as well, really. And I'm a human being at the moment, and I've got a heart, and so some of the questions are really quite difficult that we get asked, off people that we don't know. But yeah, I definitely feel I've had support with, there are not nice people out there. Some people don't mean it. Some people just don't care. But, it's just a bit the world we live in. And it's just making sure you keep yourself around safe people that make you feel safe. Sorry, I'm having a play here with my filters.
Yeah, it's good. And guys, now we just finished because we just do minimum 20 minutes or every week.
So what was our gold nugget, Melton? What was our gold nugget have we got from today?
What? I couldn't hear you.
What was our gold nugget from today? What's our takeaway?
Maybe just, I just said again, people just when asked a question, especially the carrier, they just be very careful because sometimes they hurt the other people feeling, and we don't need to do that necessarily. We just.
What I think is, which is what I keep saying, be curious but kind.
Yeah.
I've done at the end of the day, put yourself in their shoes. How would you feel if someone kept asking you when you were going to die or your children were going to die? Or
yeah, and it's easy to judge the people, but it's hard to understand. So maybe every time we have to choose understand the other human being.
And I think that's what we can do on our podcast, isn't it? Hopefully we can support people with what that looks like and moving forward and good questions to ask.
Yes, definitely. And we'll do every week in this hour. And so please join us. And if you have idea, you can just write to us. And next week we talk about how autism affects differently men and women.
Definitely. How exciting. I can't wait to pick your brains on that, Malcolm.
Yeah,
Thank you so much for this. It's been lovely to educate people a little bit more on what life is like for us and for the
thank you,
Tudies.
Leslie.
Oh,
We
that's
are
a
glad
lovely
you
comment. Thank
enjoy.
you.
And
So
then
yeah.
share this guy and share this video, and just people a little bit heard about more career life. Okay, so thank you very much.